Welcome back to another explainer. AR associates and trainees, I am seriously thrilled to have you here today. You all are the absolute backbone of the revenue cycle management process, and mastering the tricky nuances of denial management, well, that is exactly what separates a good billing specialist from a truly great one. Did you know that benefit limit denials are actually among the top 5 reasons for delayed cash flow? It's huge. So today, we're tackling a super common, yet admittedly frustrating, scenario in our field. We're focusing this explainer entirely on handling maximum benefit denials, and specifically, we're going to look at the adjustment codes CO119, N587, and M13. So get your notebooks ready, because we're going to master exactly how to review, analyze, and totally resolve these specific claims.
Okay, let's dive right into this. On our agenda for today's explainer, we've got an overview of benefit denials, categories of benefit limits, our step-by-step resolution workflow, a standard caller note template, and we'll wrap it all up with a quick knowledge check.
All right, Section 1, Overview of Benefit Denials.
So what exactly are we talking about when we see a claim denied because maximum benefits have been exhausted? Well, by definition, a benefit maximum is just a limit on a covered service or supply. The absolutely crucial thing to understand here, and honestly this is something that constantly confuses patients, is that the patient's coverage is actually still completely active. Their policy has not been canceled. It's just that a very specific service or supply is restricted. That restriction could be a dollar amount, a specific duration, a number of units, or a visit count. Basically, the current insurance has already paid out enough for this patient according to their specific plan's limits, so the insurance simply can't pay a dime more. The maximum payable amount? It's been reached.
Now, unfortunately for us, payers aren't just going to send over a polite letter in plain English saying they won't pay. No way. Instead, you're going to see specific claim adjustment and remark codes, and it is absolutely vital that you memorize these. You'll frequently run into CO119, which means the benefit maximum for this time period or occurrence has been reached. You're also going to see N587, which is a blunt policy benefits have been exhausted. Plus, for certain visit types, keep an eye out for M13, meaning only one initial visit is covered per specialty, per medical group, and N113, which restricts coverage to just one initial visit per physician, group practice, or provider. Recognizing these codes instantly, that tells you exactly what kind of roadblock you're dealing with.
And this brilliantly illustrates the whole concept. Think of an insurance policy's benefit limit just like an ATM withdrawal limit. Your bank account is still open, right? Your debit card is completely active. But if you try to take out more cash than your daily allowance, that machine is going to give you that robotic, exasperated error, "Sorry, the requested amount exceeds your withdrawal limit." That is quite literally what the payer is telling us when they kick back a CO119 or N587 denial code.
Moving right along to Section 2, Categories of Benefit Limits.
Insurance companies don't just blindly cut off funding for no reason. They follow very strict policy guidelines. The denials you're seeing will typically fall into one of 4 common categories. First up, we've got annual benefit amounts, or dollar maximums. That basically caps the total dollars they'll pay out per year for certain services. Second, you might run into individual lifetime visits. That means some treatments are hard capped at a specific number of visits over the patient's entire lifetime. Third, we see monthly or annual visit limits, and that's strictly a visit count, regardless of the dollar amount. And fourth, the maximum units have been exceeded for a very specific medical policy. As an AR associate, your main job is to figure out exactly which of these buckets your specific claim falls into.
Let's move to Section 3 and see how this builds. Step-by-step resolution workflow.
I totally want to reassure you that while denials can seem kind of daunting at first glance, this process is highly structured. If you follow these exact steps, you are going to resolve the claim correctly every single time. Our high-level workflow is just 4 steps. First, accumulator verification. Second, identifying errors. Third, the secondary payer check. And finally, if all else fails, the patient responsibility transfer. Let's break these down a bit.
Okay, for steps 1 and 2, your very first course of action is to check the benefit details. You can do this by jumping onto the payer's web portal or by getting a payer rep on the phone. You absolutely need to verify the accumulators. This means you're asking, is this limit visit-based or is it amount-based? What is the actual maximum allowed and exactly how much has already been used? Step 2 is all about identifying errors. Because let's be real, payers make mistakes all the time. You have to check if there's actually a balance left in that benefit limit. If you find that the patient still has remaining visits or available funds, you need to demand the rep reprocess that claim right then and there on the call, immediately.
But hey, what if the accumulator is truly completely maxed out? Well, that leads us right into steps 3 and 4. You've got to check your billing system to see if the patient has any active secondary insurance. If the system's looking a little bare, dig back into those original registration files. Because if active secondary insurance does exist, you just submit the claim to that secondary payer along with the primary EOB. Now, for step 4, this is our fallback strategy. If a patient has definitely met their allowed dollar amount or visits, and there's no other active payer available for that specific date of service, your end action is to build a claim to the patient. We simply transfer the balance over to patient responsibility.
Next up, Section 4, Standard AR Caller Note Template.
I strongly encourage you to screenshot this clean template to use in your daily work. Whenever you finish a call about an exhausted benefit, your note needs to look exactly like this. Why? Because a vague note means the next associate who touches this claim is going to have to start from scratch, and we don't have time for that. You want to state the date of service, the billed amount, and the submission and denial dates. You explicitly document that you verified whether the limits were visit or dollar-based, plus exactly what the payer rep told you regarding the allowed amount and the exact date it was met. Always include the claim number and the call reference number. And finally, spell out your end action. Did you route it to be billed to the secondary payer, or did you bill a patient? Consistent, clear notes prevent duplicate work and guarantee accurate billing.
So the crucial point here is this. When you're looking through all our training materials, you're going to notice that we never ever use real patient data, specific payer names, or actual rep names. Strict anonymization is completely non-negotiable in our industry. In the source examples you see, the names of major insurance companies and their representatives were totally scrubbed out. We use generic terms because HIPAA compliance is paramount. It's the law. Now, when you write your actual notes in the live system, yes, you will use the real names, but you must safeguard that data with your life. Never share specific system, payer, or patient details outside of your secure billing environment.
All right, Section 5, Knowledge Check. Time to see how well you've absorbed this workflow. I'm going to throw 3 quick questions your way.
Question 1. Think back to that table of denial codes we went over earlier. Which code specifically states that policy benefits have been exhausted? Is it A, CO119, B, N587, or C, M13? Go ahead and lock in your answer.
Okay, question 2. When you receive a claim with one of these benefit limit denials, what is literally the very first step in your resolution workflow? Is it A, patient responsibility transfer, B, accumulator verification, or C, check secondary payer? What's the first thing you do?
And question 3. Let's say you've done your research. The accumulators are definitely maxed out. If absolutely no active secondary insurance exists in the billing system or the original registration, what is your final and action? Do you A, request reprocessing, B, bill patient, or C, write off the balance? Let's see how you did. The answer to question 1 is B. N587 translates directly to policy benefits have been exhausted. The answer to question 2 is also B. Your very first step is always accumulator verification. You've got to find out exactly what the limit is and if it was truly met. And finally, the answer to question 3 is B. If there is no alternate payer available for that date of service, you have to transfer the balance and bill the patient. If you got all 3 right, fantastic job. You officially have a solid grasp on how to navigate these tricky denials.
Understanding how to confidently handle exhausted benefits ensures that our providers get paid fairly for the vital care they provide and that patients are billed correctly without unnecessary delays. Keep practicing this workflow, use those note templates, and always verify those accumulators first. I want you to leave with this thought. How much revenue is your practice losing each and every year simply because someone assumed an exhausted benefit was a dead end instead of digging a little deeper? Share and subscribe for free courses on Decode Healthcare with Harshal.